Hi, friends. My name's Angelo Gonzalez. I'm a wedding minister in the Houston, Texas area. Katy wedding minister. I've done over about 300 ceremonies in the last 10 plus years. And I wanted to share a little bit in this video, kind of an overview on what a ceremony itself looks like, kind of the main elements. We'll talk a little bit about in detail, kind of go through each element for you and tell you those things. So, the common elements of a ceremony are this. Processional is usually what begins. You usually have opening remarks or a welcome where everyone's welcomed. Sometimes you may have a reading depending on your faith background. You might have a reading at some point at this time. A lot of times what will happen after this is the minister will move into what's called the words of encouragement. Sometimes it's called the charge to the couple. And this is where they're talking to you about love and, commitment and marriage and all that good stuff. And usually what will happen as well is after this, you will move to the vows. Okay. Then you'll move to the ring exchange. Any kind of special element is usually kind of what comes after that. Then you will have some closing remarks. The pronouncement, the introduction of the couple, and then the recessional. Okay, so that's kind of an overview on what a typical ceremony might look like. Now, you might move things around. You might add things. You might have a reading here and a reading somewhere else, or you might intersperse things. But overall, that's kind of what it's going to look like for you. Okay. And for me, I have a kind of a checklist and a process that I go through with every couple where we're talking about each of those aspects. So starting with number one is the processional. Now, the processional can be as long or as short as you need it to be. Some processionals are very simple. It begins with the minister walking up, and then the groom comes up, and then the bride walks up, either escorted by someone, maybe her father or a family member or something like that, or she walks up by herself and she goes to the front, and then that's the processional. It can be as simple as that. Just depends on what you're looking for. It could also be more elaborate. So some people have in their processional grandparents that are escorted in, parents that are escorted in, family members. Obviously, you have bridesmaids and groomsmen that are escorted in, possibly, if you have those, if you're choosing to have those in your ceremony. And it can, be as little as 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, however many you have. Sometimes they walk in together. Sometimes the groomsmen all walk in by themselves, and then the bridesmaids come by them, each by themselves. So again, up to you how you want to do that. Then you would have ring bearers if you have those, and then a flower girl or flower girls would kind of be the last ones that are typically the ones coming up. They're doing the flowers. At this point, the minister usually will say something like, "All rise," everyone will stand, and then the bride comes down, comes to the front. He says, "You may be seated," and if there's somebody there giving her away, if you've chosen, they may ask, "Who gives this woman to be wed?" They will answer, hand you off, and now it'll be you and the groom up there with the minister, your wedding party if you've chosen to have them there. And then the ceremony begins. So that's kind of an overview of what the processional might look like for you. Okay. From here, usually there's some kind of opening remarks, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to celebrate this union," or something like that. And, you're introduced. There's some just a welcome to the guests that are there. And what can happen here is from there, if you choose, if you have kind of a religious background, you might want a scripture reading at this point. Right after the short welcome, maybe the minister invites someone up, they do a reading, they go have a seat, and then sometimes, at least for me, what I typically do and what I've seen a lot of ministers do is they move into this words of encouragement time. Now, this is really where a lot of personalization can happen. Okay, if you're meeting with your minister, as a minister is meeting with couples, this is a lot of what they will talk about. So they'll talk about your background, maybe how you met, your story, a little bit about yourselves, how you grew up, your engagement, how long you've been together, all these types of things that a minister will ask questions to glean information so that he or she can really personalize the ceremony for you. Okay, this is a great place to do that. This is a great place if you have things like you want a poem read, or maybe you have a favorite book and it has a great quote about love or marriage or something like that. They can work it in here. Like, those are kind of the things that can happen during the section, but they're encouraging you. They're talking to you, the couple, about love, about marriage, about what it means to be married, and just giving you a charge as you leave this ceremony as husband and wife. Just some words of encouragement to you. So this is a big part of the ceremony. From here, typically you move to vows, right? And a couple different ways people do their vows. And the most common way is for you to respond. So, right, I would say, do you so-and-so take so-and-so to be your wedded wife? So on and so on. So long as you both shall live, I do, right? That's the most common way. Those are the vows. You can use traditional vows that exist. You can write your own vows here, but this is the most common way. A lot of people who don't like to be in the spotlight or maybe aren't comfortable public speaking, this is what they're going to choose to do. But you also have the option here to write your own vows, right? You can write them. You can recite them to each other and do that well, or you can do a combo. You can write your own, say your own, and then do the traditional. This is your ceremony, so you do what you feel like you're going to do. Usually, you move to the rings after this, and this is where the minister would hand you the ring, and you do an exchange of rings. Many times, this is kind of where the repeat after me comes. So, right, I so and so, I so and so, take you so and so, take you so and so to be my wedded husband. To be my wedded husband. And again, your minister will probably have a set of vows and ring exchange repeating after me text that they use. But many ministers will also write something or will take your considerations or your suggestions. If you have some, maybe you found a great set of them online or something like that. But that's what would happen there. And after this, a lot of times, there may be another reading, there may be a song, or a special element. So, if you have a special unity ceremony, unity candle, unity sand, people used to do the wine box ceremony. You can look that up. All kinds of different ceremonies. I'll do another video about the different kinds of unity ceremonies that I've seen, and kind of rate them a little bit there. But this is where that it's a great place for that to go. It's kind of a natural transition. You do your unity ceremony after this, depending on your minister. They may say something. There may be music playing during it, whatever. Again, up to you at this point. And then usually after this, you're getting towards the end. So with my couples, I usually do a blessing over their marriage after this, some closing remarks. If it's a religious ceremony, we'll close in prayer. We'll do some kind of prayer like that. And then we start to get to the end of the ceremony. All right. So you're getting close to the end. We'll say amen, or you'll say your closing remarks. And then this is when the pronouncement will happen. So, now by the authority vested in me, by the state of whatever, for me, it's the state of Texas. I now pronounce you husband and wife. So that's when the pronouncement will happen. The bride and the groom will kiss. So you may now kiss your bride, or you may now kiss the bride, or you may now kiss, whichever you prefer. Again, up to you, your ceremony. You get to decide what kind of language is used there. You will kiss. You will turn towards your guest. Everyone will be clapping. And then the minister will typically introduce you, right? It is now my privilege to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs., and there's your name, whatever you've chosen to be introduced as. Sometimes couples want, instead of that, just ladies and gentlemen, the newly wedded couple, and everybody's clapping. And then your music starts, typically right after that. And the recessional starts, which usually the way it goes is bride and groom walk out. Everybody's clapping. They get pictures of all that happening. And then everybody kind of usually will go out in reverse order. That's not always the case, but that's usually kind of what happens. So with me, when I meet with a couple for my silver package, it's kind of my regular package that I do for couples. It's usually up to a 30-minute ceremony. So anywhere from 20, 25, 30 minutes is what I do. I usually aim for about 20, 25 minutes, just in case we start a little bit late, which happens more often than not. You're starting maybe 5, 7 minutes, 3 minutes late before your start time. And a lot of venues, what they do is they give you a 30-minute window, and a wedding planner or a wedding coordinator, if they're planning out, it's like, this is the 30 minutes. So we want to stay within that time frame. But when I meet with couples and we go through that, I go through all of this with them. We talk about the processional. We talk about who's walking in when. We talk about how many bridesmaids and groomsmen, who's going to have the rings, who's escorting the bride, are we handing you off? A little bit about your background, right? This is where we talk about things that are special towards you, and things to personalize the ceremony. We talk through the vows, we talk through the rings, we talk through all the unity things, the blessing, the prayer, the pronouncement. All of this I go through with my couples as we're planning ceremonies, so that everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows what to expect. Any questions that they have, usually my process goes, we wait to the end, we fill in what we need, and then we just have communication as we get closer to the ceremony after that. So I encourage you, if you're in the Houston area, you're looking for a pastor, a minister to do your ceremony, I'd love to do that. You can reach out. There's a link here for you to get a consult with me, no obligation. Usually it's just a short 10-minute conversation to let you know about my process and see if we're a good fit. So anyway, happy wedding for those of you who are planning your ceremonies. I hope this video was helpful, and have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.